Hi, welcome to Sharon Shanklin's studio. Today we're going to be making a PVC pipe frame for your silk and show you how to mount it on your silk. So I know a lot of you have been curious about these PVC pipes. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to purchase 3/4 inch PVC. And this PVC, you should be able to find it in any hardware store. And if you're out of the country, see if you can find something comparable. This PVC pipe is made for putting pipes through your house for drinking water. And it's really not very expensive. I think it may be $3 for a 7-foot piece. The next thing I've done is I have marked where I want to cut the PVC pipe. Now, our silk painting project is going to be 36 inches by 36 inches. And so we want our frame to be 3 inches bigger on each side. So I've added 3 inches on this side, 3 inches on the other side. That's a total of 6 inches to my 36-inch piece of silk, which means I need to have a frame that's 42 inches by 42 inches. So I've gone ahead and marked that on the PVC pipe here, and then I'm going to show you how to cut it. The other thing that I've done is on my PVC pieces, once I've cut them, I go ahead and label them with the length of the PVC pipe and also with my initials. So if you're going to a large class, so you can keep track of your equipment. This way, when I know that I'm going to start a project that's 36 by 36 inches and I need a 42-inch pipe, I won't have to get out my ruler and start measuring them. This is the tool that you need to cut PVC pipe efficiently. It's a ratcheting pipe cutter, and it's made for, I think this cuts up to about 1.75 inch pipe. When I first started making these PVC frames, I used a hacksaw, but that takes a long time to saw through them and it makes a mess. So I found this thing. I think it cost me maybe $25, $30 at a hardware store. You can get them on Amazon as well. So to cut your PVC pipe, you'll put your ratcheting cutter on the pipe and then bring it down till it's snug right on the line where you want to cut it. And then once it ratchets tight, you'll start cutting the pipe. Cuts just like butter. It's really easy. So it really doesn't matter if your end is perfectly straight or not, because it's going to be going in these little corner pieces. So I'll go ahead and cut my last piece here. And if you don't have much hand strength, go ahead and put the base of the ratcheting cutter on the table, and then you can just push down on it. This other piece is 36 inches, and I'll set that aside for another project. So now I have my 4 pieces that are cut to 42 inches, and I'm ready to build my frame. The next thing you'll need is these corners. So this is a 3-way plumbing joint for 3/4 inch pipe. I've seen these on Amazon, and if you can't find them on Amazon, I do believe Karen sells them as well. So I'm simply going to put one end of this in the corner joint so that this joint goes down, and then put the other end in. You can kind of twist it as you put it in. There's my second corner. Third corner. And my fourth corner. After you put it together, you'll want to push down this way, push down this way, make sure all your joints are nice and tight, and then you have your PVC frame. If your frame's a little bit smaller, like this one, this is a project that Marina's been working on, you can take it and put it on the table and push the corners of it down until you get it so that it sits flat on the table. My table's not big enough here. One of the other nice things about this corner pipe is, let's say you don't have a table. You can actually put some legs in here and turn this into its own table. So if you're doing a demonstration at a gallery or a class and you don't have enough table space, you can simply make your own table. Just like that. Now, I have a few other joints here. This is a T-joint, and this is a 3/4 or a 45-degree angle joint. So you could put this joint in here. You'd have to use two 21-inch pieces, and you could put that joint in here, and if that was in there like that, then you could put another piece of PVC pipe here on the back, and that would help stand up your frame vertically so that you could work on it like this. You can put another one of these T-joints down at the bottom, put a little stabilizer bar here or something like that. The 3/4 joint, or the 45-degree angle joint, what we use that for is if you're going to work on your project vertical again, let me grab a piece over here. Got some small pieces of PVC pipe here. I can put it in like this, and like this, and like this, and then I instantly have my piece set up. So when we're in Karen's class, we usually paint with our canvases or our silk at a vertical angle like this. And that does two things. Number one, there's less strain on your back because you're sitting there and painting this way, and you're not leaning over your painting. The second thing that this accomplishes is when you're using Karen's method with the magic sizing, it's a very dry method, and so we're using very little dye, and if you're using enough dye that it actually is running down your silk, then you're using too much dye. So there's another idea for you. Once I have my frame ready to go, then I'm going to get ready to mount my silk on it. Now, if you're reusing your PVC pipes, the first thing that you want to do is get a paper towel and wet it with some water and clean your pipe. You can see this has a little bit of dye on it just from sitting in the back of my studio. In this case, we're actually doing a white flower, so we want to be really careful that there's no dye that's going to get on this piece of silk, because it isn't going to be like we can easily cover it up. And you can see there's some little hidden dyes there. Sometimes these get dye on them just by sitting in the studio, because a piece of dye dust has flown over to them and settled on it. So once that's clean, make sure your table's clean, set your silk out, and then we are going to use masking tape. And I've described this a bunch of times on the internet, but unless you actually see it, sometimes it's difficult to understand. So I'm going to move this over a little bit to be out of the way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make 4 longer pieces of masking tape, like about this long. And those are going to be for my 4 corners. Then I'm going to take each piece of this masking tape and I'm going to fold over a little tab about 1/4 of an inch to the back of the masking tape. So I have little tabs at both ends, like that. I'm going to do that with all 4 corners. So, if you don't have one of these, you need to get one of these. Marina bought this for me for Christmas a couple of years ago. It's a magnetic pin holder. I love this thing. So, my silk pins, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the tab of the masking tape with a sticky side down under the corner of the silk, and then I will push this silk pin through like that, and then I just loosely connect that to the corner. Now I'll do this to the next corner. Last corner. Okay, once I have this on here loosely, I'm going to tighten it up just a little. I should have done my demo on a smaller frame, but there we go. So you can adjust this until your silk is actually right in the middle. It looks like this one came off. Stretched it a little bit too hard. If you stretch a little too hard and tear the masking tape, just turn it over to the other tab. Okay, you'll be tightening this up a little bit later. The reason you have the tab on the other end is so that during your painting, if you need to loosen or tighten your silk, you can simply just pick up that tab without having the end of the masking tape stick on your frame. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to cut quite a few little pieces of tape. And these pieces, you'll be doing the same thing with them. You'll be folding over the ends. Sometimes you have to do 1 or 2 pieces before you figure out what the length of them is going to need to be. So they should be a little bit longer than that. Now, when you cut the tape to be able to cut a lot of pieces quickly, what you can do is hold the tape like this with your thumb here, push the tape down on the table, pull it out. So I think I'm going to need pieces about that long.